And also this meeting is being recorded now. So, okay, so starting out, introductions. My name is Chris Felton. I'm the district executive for the Algonquian district, which is sort of the northern part of the council. On this call, we also have Scott Grease. Scott, if you can introduce yourself.
I am Scott Grease. I am the Lincoln Heritage District membership volunteer and everything. And also I am a Scoutmaster for Troop 102 out of St. Minor, and also assistant roundtable for Lincoln Heritage.
Awesome. And we also have Becca Scott.
Hi, everyone. I am on the board of directors for the council, and I serve in the marketing and public relations chair role. And so I'm going to be sharing some social media and other marketing best practices with you this evening.
Yeah, so we have got some great powerhouse hitters here to help you guys out with everything. I know a couple of people on this call, and I don't know a couple others. Let me know what in the chat box what your guys' comfortability with recruitment. Have you done it 1,000 times? Have you done it once? Is this your first year? Just so that we have an idea of where we should be hitting the main points on. But to start out tonight, we're going to talk about specifically how the recruitment nights are going to work. It will be similar to how we did in 2019. We are going to do the 3-night recruitment. This will be August 19th, August 26th, and September 2nd. And the different parts of the council, I'll show you guys in a little bit, have different nights for those different dates. And those dates are based solely on when your guys' school system starts. And that we can kind of work that kind of stuff out. Like I said, we're going to kind of go through some other points that Becca and Scott will cover in a little bit. So to start out, though, I'm going to minimize the screen. All right, 2021 recruitment guide. As you guys can see, these are the areas that will be going first. Sorry, hold on a sec. Okay, so Perry County, Warwick County, Vanderburgh, East Side, North Gibson, South Gibson, and East Gibson are going to be covered on August 19th. If you guys don't understand quite what Vanderburgh East is, you guys can communicate with your local commissioners and then your DE about that information. Vincennes, North Knox, South Knox, Vanderburgh West, that'll be on the 26th. And basically Illinois will go on the 2nd. The point of that is because Illinois starts about a week and a half to 2 weeks later than most Indiana schools. Normally, again, when we were doing this in person, we'd have you fill out this form. I'll be sending you guys this form afterwards to have you fill it out. This form is the Fall Recruitment Unit Information and School Coverage Form. The purpose behind this, it tells us 2 things. One is when you meet and when does your individual DENs meet, and the general days and times. The purpose for this is for our support staff and everything at the office. If a family calls into the office, say on August 26th, then our support staff has an idea of, like they can ask them, okay, we live in, I know Katrina's on this call, we live in Olney, and we go to the school out there. We heard about the recruitment, but we missed it on the, or we thought we missed it even though it's on the 2nd, and we would like to join. Well, then they can pull out the sheet for Katrina's unit at 211 and show that, okay, well, they meet on this day. What age is your kid? Okay, your kid would be in the bear den and they meet specifically on this day. And then the other part what this form covers is the leadership in the schools that you guys are going to cover. So especially those of you who are in Native Trails down here in Evansville, you guys may cover several different schools as a part of your recruitment. We need to make sure that every school is covered. And then if you guys need any help at those school coverages, then we can provide some district volunteers. Now, some of you guys may be recruiting at schools, but you are going to have one single location outside of that. Maybe it's a park or some type of a location like that. That is totally okay. That's just something that we need to know also, so that we can make sure that that information is on the flyers that we are providing to the school, that those families need to go to those locations instead of showing up at the school that night. So these forms will be presented to you. Like I said, they'll probably come into your mailboxes tomorrow, but that is the purpose of these forms. All right, so number one, things you need to be doing right now, calendars. You ideally need to have a calendar that plans your dates, and you need to stick to these dates. Ideally, we would like to see that through the end of this year. If you can only do the next couple months, that's fine. But the ideal situation is that you want to have your calendars completed at least through a good section of popcorn so that parents know what they're kind of getting into, and they know what's kind of going on. Then the other thing you need to provide is a good sheet with your leader contact information. This is for those kids that come in, they sign off on that attendance sheet, but we aren't able to get their applications that night. So you want to give them that contact leader form right off in the beginning so that they can take that with them. And then if they do decide to join later on, you also should be following up based on that attendance sheet, but they may follow back up with you saying, yes, we're good for it. And we would like to join the unit. So if you have that contact information out there, very helpful. And like we'll talk about a little bit later, make sure your contact information is updated on your Google Pin, and we'll kind of show you to make sure you know how to do that. So recruitment of volunteers to help that night. If you guys are going to be at a school, if you're going to be at a random location in your local area that works out best for your unit, make sure that you have the volunteers to help. There's several different ways in which volunteers can do things, if not just talking to the parents and giving them information about what the PAC is doing, or if they need to be taking the kids aside to run a game with them while the adults are filling out the paperwork and all that kind of stuff. Several different things. Make sure you have enough volunteers for what you want to plan for that evening. And then following up that is find out when your open house and meet the teacher back to school nights are at your schools. I know I talked about Katrina a lot already, but Katrina's unit does a great job of getting to their open house night and doing those kind of early events at their schools, and they're actually able to recruit a good amount of kids before they even get to the recruitment night later on. It's a great way to get that initial recruitment down. All right, in our materials and stuff that we will provide to you, obviously we're doing this virtually, so we will have to work out the way to get you guys your yard signs and that kind of stuff. Just communicate with your DEs on, obviously if you're in Evansville, you guys can just pick them up down at the office. If you are in my district or Grant's district out in Lincoln Heritage or Algonquian, we can communicate to where we can drop that stuff off to you while we're out in the districts. But basically, yard signs, we're going to provide those. We're going to try to get in as many school talks as we can. We're going to be doing social media posts ran by Becca. And we've also been sending out the PAC posts that you guys can use for your own social media with PACs. We hope that you guys have been getting those and utilizing those. Those are also all on the recruitment page at the website. And then we'll also be doing 2 sets of flyers or electronic flyers like we always have in the past. Like I said before, update your Be a Scout pin information. I know we've been harping on this for years, but that really is an important way to make sure you're up to date and ready for recruitment. And like I said, we'll kind of go over that a little bit later. The week before reconfirmation with the school, this again is if you're kind of doing your recruitment night at the school. If not,
Time out. What is a Be a Scout pin?
Be a Scout pin is your Google pin. Well, like I said, I'll explain it a little bit.
We don't know anything about that.
Okay, we'll explain it in a little bit. We'll show you how to get it all set up.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I lost my train of thought. Okay. So the week before, if you're going to do your recruitment night at the school, definitely confirm with the school ahead of time that you are going to be there, that you have either a key or however you're going to get in and out of the school. Most of the time, it's just their janitorial staff is going to be the one locking up. You just have to make sure you put the tables and chairs back. Confirm your unit leadership and coverage for that evening, no matter what area that you're going to be doing at. Arrange for tables and chairs. So if you are going to do it at the school or another location, make sure you have tables and chairs prepared for people to sit at so that they can write down and they can fill out the applications. The last thing a parent wants to do is show up to the recruitment night and be standing there filling out an application like on a notepad, because there's no place for them to sit down and fill it out. And set a recruitment goal for your unit. This is very important this year specifically. If you have a great goal, you know exactly what you need, especially setting a goal for this age groups that you need in your unit. So maybe COVID, you lost a bunch of your bears, your bear dens. Make sure that you then set a recruitment goal that you're going to actively go for that that age group in the schools. And maybe you go into the school and do an extra activity with that specific age group so that you can get a couple more of those kids to fill out that den a little bit more. And then finally, printing out the calendar information, the contact information, all that kind of stuff for that evening. The night of signups, we will provide you guys council packets at the August roundtable. I know my Algonquian roundtable will be in person in August at Gregg Park. I don't know what the other districts are doing, but that is sort of our thing. We'll do a potluck dinner. It'll be a whole fun thing. But we will provide you youth applications, parent guides, sign-in sheets for that evening, registration assistance forms, volunteer information sheets, which is information that you can take from them, showing things that they'd be interested in. We're also going to be providing you adult applications for any adults who are willing to sign up that evening, and a couple other forms in there to help out with the process. We normally used to provide mini magazines, the Boys Life mini magazines. Well, now Scout Life magazine, which is the new version of that, is actually going to be on the recruitment flyers that we are going to provide out to all the schools. We're going to put a QR code with that. They have a virtual version of the Scouts Life mini mag that we're going to provide out, like I said, on the flyers that we're going to give out to the schools. But you guys can have that same link for those evenings. And last but not least, change for fees. Most people, of course, pay now. They want to pay through credit card, online, or they want to pay by check. But for those who want to pay in cash, you need to make sure you have the right amount of cash provided. I tell most units to take, $50 out and, fives and ones ahead of time to make sure they can cover anything that's getting brought in. Sorry. Online applications will pay registration fees for the exact date of sign up. So say that if they pay on paper signups, we're not going to put those things through until the end or after August into September. So they're going to pay September fees. Whereas if they come for an August 19th recruitment and they pay online, they're going to pay that August fee. We are also make sure to promote Cub Scout Fun Day. It's going to be awesome. It'll be September 18th. We're going back to shooting rockets this year. It's going to be an awesome time. And, we're going to that tried and true rocket shoot that'll have, all the scouts really and all the kids really great. It's always a fun time when we go in for school talks and we're standing up there showing off the rockets, and you're going to get to shoot one of these. They get really jazzed up about that. So, and then communicate with your troops and crews in your local area to help out your pack that evening. They can provide entertainment to the kids while the parents are filling out the stuff. They can. It also helps the parents see, here's what your scout can be in the future if they stick with this program. So it's a good sort of a telling of what these kids are good at. So hopefully your troop does a great job that night, and it'll sort of help provide them a, hey, this is if your kid sticks to the program, here's what they could be in 5-6 years. On sign-up night, all forms should be turned in with fees to the turn-in locations. We'll probably have those set up similar to the past, where they'll be at local McDonald's, Evansville groups and stuff like that. You guys may just have your stuff turned in at the iCamp Center, but that information will be provided to you guys in the future. Follow up with any families from the attendance sheets that did not join that night but signed in, gave you the contact information. Follow up with them in the next couple of days. Make sure that follow-up happens before the end of that following weekend. Your recruitment night should be on a Thursday. That gives you 3 to 4 days to do that first initial follow-up, and that's how we're going to keep those kids in. And then have a new parent orientation the following week. The new parent orientation, it can be a meeting just with the parents, or if you want to have some of your den leaders take the kids and do their thing while the Cub Master and the committee chair explain what's sort of going on with the pack. That's the kind of thing you need to set up, but you need it that following week so they get in that mindset of either a weekly or however often your unit meets, but you want them to be in there and ready to go right off the bat. All right, so going to questions now. I'm gonna drop out of the screen so I can see you guys again. So Heather and Betty, your question about the Be a Scout pin, we will show you how to do that in the future, but your Be a Scout pin is when a new scout logs into beascout.org, which is the sort of online sign up for being a scout. They can go to the Google pin for your area. And it basically, so say that a kid, you guys are out in Bicknell, so that kid's gonna search BeAScout.org, and it's gonna show, here's all the 20 units that are the closest to you. And yours is gonna pop up first because you're the closest one to them, being the only unit in Bicknell. And on that thing, it'll sort of show, it'll show your contact information, where your meetings are at, the times, and all that kind of stuff. So for you guys, since we're kind of resetting your unit up there, it's a little different, and we'll probably have to have a conversation about this outside of this meeting. But that's the basic process of your Google Pin. So, and like I said, we'll kind of show how that's all set up, but I'll have to communicate with you guys outside this meeting, just because the situation that we're in out in Bicknell is a little bit more robust than just a general making sure your Google Pin is updated. So,
Okay.
any other questions from anyone?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Well, then we'll move into the next section, which is with Becca.
Hey, I do have one question, actually.
Okay.
Do you know where the location's going to be for our area to turn in the paper forms and money?
Yours will
That-
most likely be the 6th Street McDonald's.
Okay, that's what I was thinking that night. Okay. You got anything, Betty? Nope. I'm trying to think if there's something else that I was gonna ask. Oh, what about like recruiting Boy Scouts? Do you do any of the talks or send flyers to the high school?
We can, right now we're focusing on the Cub Scouts, so we can build up the Cub Scout packs again, so that we can have them feeding into the troops. But yeah, as a part of the membership team's plan is to create sort of a troop level, crew level recruitment effort more towards the end of the year. But yes, we do have the possibility of going to schools and doing a modified version of school talks. They don't really let us do the same thing as they do with the Cub Scouts, but it's similar. And then doing flyers, that kind of stuff. So.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Chris, did you see PAC 270 recruitment was wanting to know when their recruitment night is?
If I remember correctly, yours should be on the 26th. But I will put that in there. Du Bois was not on the list. I was told it was on August 26th. Scott, does that sound normal that they normally go the second weekend?
I think so. I mean, I noticed North Spencer and South Spencer ain't on there either and all that. So that's why I was gonna get with Grant later on to find out.
Yeah. Yeah, let me kind of jump back to that slide here. Yep. I apologize for that. Yeah, I must have missed that information from Grant when we were creating the slides. So, but yeah, the 26th sounds correct. So, all right. Any other questions? Okay. All right, Becca, it is on to you.
All right. Chris, do you want me to take over sharing screen, or do you want to be Vanna and promote through slides? What would you prefer?
I will stop sharing whenever my computer stops freaking out about this.
Okay.
It's for whatever reason is stuck in full screen mode.
I actually did need you to stop sharing anyway and let me do it, because I'm going to have to show my Facebook page. So.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now let me share my screen. Oh, it's not letting me yet.
Yeah. Try again.
I'm having the one participant can share at a time, or multiple can share simultaneously, or advanced sharing.
Yeah, it should be set to multiple. So. It should be
Okay.
all good.
There we go. Got it. Okay. Can everyone see my presentation now? Chris, can you give me a thumbs up, please?
You're good.
Okay, thank you. All right. So this is a presentation that I gave about 3 weeks ago, and actually less than 3 weeks ago. And even since I gave that presentation, there have been some evolutions and more opportunities from the national organization. And so I will update some of my commentary. I didn't know I was giving this presentation live until, was it yesterday, late the day before, because of a technical glitch. So I didn't update this in the way that I would have, but I will speak to it all and answer any questions that you may have. So we want to go over some ideas and tactics for promoting your unit. And I am a list person. I really like to know what I need to do, in what order I need to do it. And so I want to give you some tasks that'll really help in an organized to-do list by month, so that you don't feel overwhelmed. You think, okay, I'll tackle this now and this later, and it'll kind of keep you on pace for things. And then also ways to help your scouts and their families do a lot of the work, because we need them to do that. And we'll give you some tools to help them make that even easier. And then overall, some social media ideas, tips, best practices, do's and don'ts. And so before we leave today, I want you to have 3 actionable ideas to take back to your unit, specifically things that you haven't done before or things that you want to do a little differently than when you've done them in the past. So I have some informal poll questions. This is the audience participation part. So this worked a little differently in a room full of people than it will here on Zoom, but we'll give it a shot. So, and you guys can maybe do this by raising your hands if you have that function on there, or you can take yourself off of mute. But for your pack, how many of you have a Facebook page for your pack?
We do.
Chris, are you able to see something I maybe am not? You're on mute.
270 does.
Okay, good.
We do.
Okay. So of those people who have one, oh, I see a hand raised. Very good, Travis. Do all of you have it set to public? And you don't have to answer that right now. Because it's not an all or nothing situation. Some people have the page set completely public, some have it set completely private, and some have the page public overall, but have made certain posts private, and then vice versa. But what we're going to talk about today is going to presume that either your page itself is public, or that you are going to make all of your posts public. And then some packs may have some other social media, such as Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Nextdoor. I'm not going to really talk about those today, and I'll explain to you more why in a little bit. And then I want you to be thinking about who posts to your Facebook page. Is it one person? Is it multiple people? And then the provided posts that Chris talked about, I hope those have been useful to you. And we're really going to need you to use the provided posts as we get into August and recruitment season. So I'll talk more about that in a bit. So last year, very few packs gained Cub Scouts. And so when I refer to last year going forward in this presentation, I'm going to be referring to 2019, because 2020 almost feels like it should have a giant asterisk behind it on everything. And our recruitment efforts are one of those things. So what we may have tried to do unsuccessfully in 2020, I don't want to talk about. I want to talk about 2019 when I say last year. So we'll move on from there. We are primarily working to reach moms, because moms have the final say. Dads are heavy influencers, but moms are the ones who are making most of the decisions about what their kids are going to be involved in. And we also know that mothers control about 85% of household purchases, and Cub Scout involvement is a purchase, both of financial resources, but of time. And so I think that's an important thing to keep in mind. So I want to show you this poll. This is very recent. It is a social media influencers poll about mothers as it relates to social media. And so in 2012, about 73% of moms used any social networking site or service. And now in 2021, 93% of moms who have kids at home are using some type of social media. Now, this headline says TikTok sees the biggest gain among moms. That's not what I'm going to talk about. That is not the focus of this slide. The focus of this slide, if you could see, is my mouse moving? I don't know if you guys can see that or not, is the part about Facebook. If you look at that, Facebook continues to gain. And in 2021, 85% of moms who are ever using any social networking site or service are using Facebook. Now, obviously, there's a lot of overlap. They have Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, all of them. There's probably somebody that has all of them. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Somebody that has all of them probably still uses a lot of Facebook. And then I mentioned this, Facebook is less dominant overall, but the number of moms who say that they use it most is 58%. So we're all busy people, and we want to, do a good job of recruiting and then lead our packs with exciting adventures. And so I think it's important to do a few things well. And so we need to do Facebook really well. So I'm going to talk about how to do that. So some of the opportunities that we need to seize on in our culture right now is people are making decisions about what they want to get involved in again. They're rejoining society after the pandemic, and they're being intentional. Some really missed travel sports and travel gymnastics and dance and those other things. Other people took a step back and said, you know what, it was kind of nice being home more. And so we are going to be wanting to capitalize on people who've had that thought process. We also know, and we'll remind people, that scouting offers resilience. And I think resilience, the importance of resilience, the need for it in our children and families and society has been very demonstrated over the past year and a half. So I think that is an important point to focus on. And then it is time to get outside, literally. And so the theme for our recruitment this year is escape the indoors. Now, I know it says escape the great indoors. And in the time since I gave this presentation, National released some market research that they're going to take the word great out of this, and it's going to just all be shifted to escape the indoors. And so all of these promotional pieces have come from National, the Boy Scouts of America National Marketing Group. And this is just a very tiny sampling of what they're making available to us in our brand center, the marketing hub. And so I'll be pulling together a lot of these resources and putting together copy, the words that you can use, the hashtags, any web links. Those of you who've been using the provided posts, you know what I'm talking about. I really do try to make it easy. I know the running joke in Scouts is that it's only an hour a week, and we know that that's not true, but I promise you, if I could pinky swear you, I would, that when I give you these provided posts, it's less than 15 hours or 15 minutes, I should say, a week of your time, each week of your time to make these posts. So parents of Cub Scout age children right now are primarily millennials. I know we keep thinking that millennials are the youngest generation out there right now, but that is not true. Generation Z follows them. So millennials right now are between about 26 and 40. And so that's who has kids in elementary school. And so there's been some extensive market research on what millennial parents are looking for, and they want well-trained leaders. And our leaders are well-trained, and there's additional training opportunities and requirements that'll be coming our way in the future. Character building, I think we know, as I mentioned, as a society, I think we can recognize the importance of raising children who are trustworthy, helpful, loyal, kind, courteous, all of those things. And so emphasizing the importance of character building and scouting. Life skills, we want our kids to know how to do things and to be resourceful. And so capitalizing on that. Fun, adventure, and challenges. People want their kids to get outside and to know how to interact with nature and enjoy nature, and to be pushed beyond their normal comfort zone. Parents of millennial parents are looking for service. They, in many cases, they want to save the world, and they want their kids to have a spirit of service and wanting to help others. And then finally, they're looking for things that families can do together. As we know, scouting isn't intended to be one of those things where you drop your kid off and come back in an hour and a half after practice. It's something that you can be with your children versus many other activities. And given some of the national news that we're facing with the bankruptcy, there is the safety subtext of this, that if you're involved in scouting with your children, then they're going to be safer in that activity, which would actually be the case with any activity that involves children. Does anybody have any questions so far about anything that I've said? By the way, this is tea. I realized just now when I held it up, it didn't look real great. It is iced tea, I promise. Okay, I'm going to move on. All right, so here is the to-do list that I promised. So we're talking about July. I recognize we're well into July, but we're going to talk about the P's of preparation. I used to teach this class with Tanya Benny, and she was all about alliteration, and it has stuck with me. So the first P is for planning for programs. And Chris touched on this, that you need to make a calendar at least as much as you can through the fall and maybe the rest of 2021. And I want to show you this example on the next slide. I found this a couple of years ago, and I just think it's really slick. It's not from a pack around here. I just, whoops, sorry. Okay, it's not from a pack around here, and it's, you know, it's about 4 years old now, but just the way they laid it out, you can see all kinds of information is right there. They made it visual, they made it fun. And parents who are planners and they want to put things on their calendar can do it right then and there and see it at a glance. And this just looks like a lot of fun. So you can tell that this is a pack that plans things and has a good time doing it. It's not complex. They probably use some sort of template and just spend a little bit of time filling it in. As we all know, the bigger key is to actually plan the events and set those dates. So once you've done that work, make sure you find a way to tell everybody about it. All right, hold on. I managed to advance 3 slides here. Previous.
Hey, Becca, we don't have a file for that.
We don't have what?
We don't have the file for that calendar, right?
I found it online.
Oh, we do? Okay. I just thought we had like a picture of it. Okay. We had somebody request to have the file sent to them so they can.
No, I just found it online and kind of took it as a screenshot.
Okay, yeah. So that's what I thought. Yeah. So if you guys have something similar, there's a lot of those type of things. Pinterest is a great place to find some of that, but really just Google BSA calendar kind of a thing. I can't tell you the amount of times that Google has most of the stuff that you would want as far as our, different things for different councils, different dens, different packs, all that kind of stuff. Easily find it on Google just by image searching and document searching, that kind of stuff.
And I'm on the marketing council for I'm on the marketing committee for the council, and we have some really talented members of that committee that have offered to do some additional training. And one of those is she's going to give a couple of templates for really more advanced or even very simple calendars and pack newsletters. And so that training is going to be available in the near future. I'm actually going to be connecting with her over the weekend to find out more details about that. She has excellent design skills and knows how to share those skills in a way that makes it easy for people. And one of the things she's going to do, I think, is create some templates for people that they just need to plug and play, which will be great. I'm looking forward to it. All right, so moving on to the next P, you need to post to social media and tell your pack story. And the posts and guidance we're going to give you make it easy. What we do on those posts is we provide a couple of posts per week with various messages and resources and links and articles that support the message of scouting, but then also give you kind of ideas on what you should be posting that your own pack is doing. Because when we start recruiting, you want people to go to your Facebook page and see that you've been active all summer, see that you are sharing important messages, and just basically that you're an involved, active pack that people want to be a part of. So polishing your social media page is really important. Just as you need to make sure your pin page is accurate, you need to make sure that your information is correct. You want to add photos of your activities from this summer. And then you also want to create an event for your sign-up night. And I will go over how to do that here in a little bit. All right, and then also in July, as we said, make sure your pack info on your pack pin is current and correct. And then you want to place a call or email about Adopt a School if you haven't already. We are targeting August 7th, but other dates will be okay. And so this information on here at scouting.org/adopt-a-school is intended to share the priorities of this, that it's to strengthen the relationship between individual packs and then the school that those students attend. And it's also part of the Scouting Summer of Service. I know our pack is going to be doing a service project on August 7th, and it involves replacing all of the side rails of a couple of the raised garden beds that the school has that are for educational purposes back by the classrooms. And so we'll be working on that. And if you do set up a service project on or around early August 7th or about that date, please make sure that the council knows or reach out to me, because we want to invite the media to that. In addition to you posting it to your social media. I know that feels a little bit perhaps self-serving or blowing our own horn or things, but remember, we're trying to do recruitment for Cub Scouts. And so showing the service and the resourcefulness and all of those things that I said millennial parents were looking for, these service projects show all of that. And so we really want to tell that story. And so if you do set up a service project, please make sure we know about it so that we can help spread the word. All right, moving into August. School starts in the EVSC on August 7th. I knew they're doing a staggered start week, but that is the first day that students will be going to school, so it's not that far off. So again, publicize your Adopt a School activity that I mentioned. You want to prep and promote for your sign-up night. So one of the first things you need to do, in addition to making your PAC calendar, is to make a PAC info sheet. And you need to take it everywhere with you and make sure that your families have copies. So on that PAC info sheet, you want to have photos. You want to have the 5 W's, who you are, the who, what, when, where, and why. Who you are, what you do, what's included, where you meet, when you meet, and why people should join Scouting. And then some key upcoming activities. You can have the general outline on that without the full calendar, but just a couple of key upcoming dates. And you want to distribute it however possible. So I want to show you the PAC info sheet that I did last year. It didn't take me very long. I actually did this in PowerPoint, so it's not, you don't have to have any unusual software to do this. You don't have to have any great design skills. This is just text boxes that I filled in and tried to draw attention to things. But you know, this is the Join Cub Scouts. We mentioned that we are for boys and girls, grades K through 5. This was the one when I said last year, this actually was 2020, because our PAC, our charter organization doesn't have an indoor space that we can meet. They're very small. And so we were meeting at our kids' school and we weren't allowed to. So we had to mention that we were having Saturday meetings, 2 to 3 a month outside. And it actually ended up working out okay. The kids enjoyed being outside, and we probably did more outside adventures than we would have otherwise. But you want to say where you're meeting and when, the sign-up opportunities that you have. And then here, the why is the orange box. Scouting is about all of those things. And then, of course, lots of photos of the kids doing cool things together. And then upcoming events that are close. So the Fall Fun Day, an upcoming camp out that we had planned. We weren't able to do it, but we did have it planned and some other things. And then the key information, this would be our committee chair and then the Cub Master, who is my husband, and myself. And then I just added these bullet points down here at the bottom in the green box. The things that we know that parents often ask about, if you can still be in sports, how the costs are, and then that the whole family can be involved together. And so this worked out really well for us. I think people picked it up. It was just a really difficult recruiting year. I'm going to do something else, something different on this flyer this year that I haven't done before. I'm going to put a QR code on this flyer that takes us to our Be a Scout pin. And if you guys have probably seen a QR code, they had kind of dropped off in popularity for a while because you had to have a QR reader app on your phone. But during the pandemic, so many places put QR codes such as for menus, and our phones now read it with just a regular camera, that everybody's doing QR codes now. So I'm going to add a QR code that leads to our pin page on beascout.org, and also one that leads to our Facebook page. And so I'm going to do that as a tool this year. And I will tell you that at the in-person training, somebody told me when we were discussing the different things that you could do with this flyer, because we were discussing like putting it in church bulletins, handing it out at schools. They said that put it next to our recruitment night yard sign in one of those real estate boxes, so people can pick up one of those flyers when they see the sign. And I thought that was a brilliant idea. So we're going to be doing that. You could also make one of these a little bit longer, especially if you weren't comfortable with the QR codes, and then put some tear-offs on it of your PAC website or a contact phone number and email address, and put the flyer up at the library or the grocery store, all of those different places. So be thinking about your PAC flyer and who you can get it to and how you can distribute it. Then some other things to prep and promote sign-up night. buddy cards. I don't know about you, but it seems to me that all the kids are completely obsessed with cards again. I've heard that my kiddo loves Pokemon cards, and I understand that they've made a big comeback. They've been around for 20 years and they dropped off for a little bit and now they're back. So cards are a big deal. So you can send them with your scouts, you can pass them out at events, you can hang on to them for later this fall for trick-or-treating, for additional recruitment as we go on. And then this was an idea that I am going to do this year, but I haven't done it before, an invitation letter. And so you can actually, I will create a template that all of you can use and it'll be shared in August, but drafting an invitation letter and adding information about what parents and families can expect in scouting, and then send it to families because we want people to get multiple asks and multiple approaches. It's been said that people have to hear a message anywhere from 3 to 7 to 12 times, depending on the message, for it to really sink in. And there's nothing quite like an invitation that you get in the mail that is personally addressed to you. And we'll also be doing some that are specific to individual dens, because you can, in this letter, we can talk about what your bear will enjoy or what your weevil will get to experience. And so I think that would add an additional enrichment to that invitation letter. And then you want to be present at any back to school nights and open houses that are coming up. I know that could really vary depending on what kind of access the schools are going to allow this year for in-person activities, but be present in whatever way you can. And then provide food for your sign up night. Now, this isn't something you have to do, and I'm not even sure it's a good idea for every pack, depending on where your sign up night is and what your logistics are. But this was a suggestion that was made of having just a simple cookout, like roast some hot dogs and have some individual bags of chips and some bottled water, and have that going on at sign up night. It's a nice hospitality activity, and there's that experience sometimes of if you feed them, they will come. So those are some additional ideas for your sign up night, promoting that there will be free food there, and come by for some information. I'm showing you this. It's not intended to be a really great view, except I wanted to show you the variety. These are the Escape the Indoors buddy cards that are on the marketing resources page right now. So there are about a dozen of them to choose from with various Escape the Indoors messaging on them. And so the template is already made. You can just print them out and write on the back of them, or if you're pretty computer savvy, you can create a similar template that's set up for you to put your information on the back, and then you just print them double-sided and cut them apart. So that is a great resource for you. All right, and then we're going to now switch over to my PAC Facebook page. I'm going to try to not screw this up since I'm in screen share mode. Let's see. New share, let me go to my Facebook. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to home, and then I'm going to my PAC page. Okay, nope, that's not what I meant to do, sorry. Okay, Cub Scout PAC 333. So this is our PAC page, and I recently polished it up a little bit to make sure that it's nice and current. Now, of course, this isn't what it looks like publicly. This is all of the back end of my page. And so if you look at this, from June 17th to July 14th, I've reached 524 people, which is a 34% increase. So we've had some good posts, some good reach. My engagement went down a little bit. We posted a whole lot of pictures of the kids doing fun activities back in early June. So it's hard to compete with that. Hold on. Let's see. All right. So we have been using the provided posts, and then I recently updated our profile picture. Just you guys could look through my page. I'm not going to take you all the way through it, but we just wanted to show how active and involved we were this summer. We had a late blue and gold. We did it outside, but we've had a pretty good scouting year. So what I wanted to show you, and this just looks a little different because I have the screen share bar here, so bear with me for a second. All right, so to create an event for your recruitment night, I want to take you through the steps of it. I recognize some of you may know how to do this. but I also want to talk about how to promote it. So, and to target your audience a little bit. So let me click on events. And getting some things out of the way here. All right. So I'm going to create an event. So it's under your event tab, and then you create an event in person. And then you can do all kinds of things. You can completely change the photo at the top of your event. And we are going to provide some of those photos as part of that marketing resources package that I'm putting together for you. And so when you get some of the provided posts, we'll also provide you with some Facebook header photos for events. They'll be sized to the right thing and everything. So you will want to fill in all of these different details. It's very intuitive. So you put your event name in, your location, your date, you fill all of that in. So it's over here on the left. It is not a recurring event, it's public. Sorry, I'm not sure if you're able to see my mouse move or not from this shared situation. I want to show you this on the categories. This is something that's really frustrating to me, and so I wanted to let you know that you are not alone if you don't understand why the categories on this. They didn't give us a bunch of great categories for events. There's nothing here for family. There's nothing here for kids' activities. There's nothing here for like joining in or anything like that. So the closest category that I can think of to use would probably be causes. And so I would want to choose that as your category. You're not going to be doing any fundraising, so you can skip that part. And hold on, I have to pick a couple things before I can go to the next section.
Rebecca, they could go to scouting.wire yet too to get marketing information
Yes,
too.
they absolutely can. And that is that resource that I was talking about. I just wanted to let everybody know that, and I'll take you to it in a minute. Thank you, Scott. It can be overwhelming to people because there's just so much in there that I was going to let everybody know that we were going to put together a library of materials that all have that have the escape the indoors theme going for them. But yes, you're absolutely right. You can grab whatever you want to there. Okay, so you fill in this information and then you put in your location, and you literally put in your school address location. So, wow, there's all kinds of interesting things here that came up. Okay, because this is just a test, I'm going to put in Red Lobster. Okay, and then the photos you can change your admission. You don't have to do tickets. Your event settings, you can play with all of this, and then you click create an event and you're all set. So that's really that straightforward. You can do this any way you want to. Hey, Chris, what is the address for the Buffalo Trace Council?
350. Or yeah, you can do it.
Yeah, see, it didn't come up when I tried to, well, that's funny. So we've got our coordinates here.
Yeah.
Is it 3500 East Lloyd Expressway?
East Lloyd Expressway, 3501.
Okay, so you can put in your address. So it can be your school. It can be wherever your well, it should be your school. So you'll want to put your school's address in here. All right, then going back, I'm gonna leave the page. I'm gonna cancel my event. Then I want to take you back to our page again. And let's see. All right, so we're going to go to a recent post, and I'm going to boost it or create an ad. And so I'm going to use our one from our Cub Scout Day Camp. And so I'm going to show you how to do this. And you can boost your event just as well as you can boost any post. So this is the process you use. You click boost, and then you can play with some of these settings if you want to. I would not worry about these goals, these automatic. what you want to get through down here is your audience targeting. And so this audience that I have chosen here, age 27 to 45, is really important, but you want to narrow down a lot because advertising to the entire United States is not useful. So what I would do is I would put in 47712 as my zip code, which is where we're here on the west side. And so I can advertise to the entire zip code, or I can drop a pin. And so you can put a pin exactly where your school is. So, okay. So I'm not going to do a 10-mile radius because if you look at that, 10 miles from our school includes the airport and it goes down into Henderson. So I'm just honestly going to do about 3 miles from my school. It says I have a potential reach of 7,100 people. And I can play with this even a little bit more. I can put in tighter addresses. I can drop multiple pins and put even just a half-mile radius around them. And so you can really target your actual school district very carefully. So I can drop another pin right by it. And so, and then you have these different radius around each of them. You see what I did there? And so you can just play with that a little bit. Don't be intimidated by it. The worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to screw it up and you're just going to have to hit back and try it again. All right. Sorry, I can't see because of my screen share. I can't see where something is. I have to get out of here. So bear with me for a second. Where is it?
Should be able to just off to the side.
Yeah, it's just my screen is so there it is. It was too tight of a zoom for my screen on my laptop here. Okay, so you change your audience details, and then you can choose your duration of how many days. And so I would recommend starting this about 10 to 14 days before your recruitment night. And so you'll make your recruitment night your end date, and then you can decide how much you want to pay. So $50 is the suggested amount, but you can certainly change it to 30 to 100, whatever you want to do, and just decide on how many people you want to reach. And so you might discuss that with your PAC committee of how much you want to spend, or if there's somebody that wants to sponsor that on behalf of the PAC. And then you just click Boost Post Now, and you are in the audience with the people that you're trying to reach. So I know I went through that pretty quickly, but it does take you step by step through it. So if somebody has questions about that, you can certainly let me know. I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint though. Okay. All right, so I've showed you how to create an event and how to boost a poster event, and then we can go into anything else we want to talk about now. One thing to keep in mind, I said at the beginning, the public versus private settings, it's not all or nothing. I recommend you use your own photos and videos or BSA stock photos. Don't use Google Photos because those can be copyrighted and that can go badly for you. When you're using your own PAC's photos, be mindful of any privacy concerns if there are parents concerned about their child being photographed, or if there's any issues such as with a foster child or something that you simply can't show their page, just be mindful of that. It's excellent to share content from other pages, such as from the Buffalo Trace Council, from the Boy Scouts of America, any other resources that you like along that line. You want to invite others to like or follow or review your pages. Having some really positive reviews on your Facebook page from current scouting families can make a big difference when people see your page and you've got all of these recent positive reviews from involved families. Be scout-like in your interactions whenever you are on social media. Don't engage with somebody who's trying to have an argument, as well as be scout-like in how you answer questions or how comments are handled on your page. And then at the unit level, it's ideal to designate a social media chair with 2 or 3 admins. You don't want to have only one person be the administrator on your page, but kind of keep it as a general rule that only one person posts, so that you don't have people posting over each other or having any accidentally conflicting information. And so you want to sort of just discuss that schedule. And then this on scoutingwire.org, which is what Scott mentioned a minute ago, there are social media guidelines, and that's a really helpful resource if you want to know more about how Scouting recommends you do social media. And then there are some upcoming training and resources from the Council Marketing Committee. I did mention that about packed calendars and newsletters. There's also somebody on the Council Marketing Committee that is a full-time videographer, which sounds intimidating, but he is aware of a variety of very simple tools, including those that are on most of our smartphones, that you can use to create and edit very simple videos, compile photos into a video, so that you're creating really exceptional videos for your events and social media use using these simple editing tools. And so hopefully I will have some information out about when those trainings will be very, very soon. Our Council Marketing Committee does meet before the end of the month, so we will try and have some trainings in place in August. All right. Does anybody have any questions about everything that I went over? And Scott, I can pull up Scouting Wire while I am working or while I'm answering any questions. So let's.
I think she has a question. Somebody.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
We have a question.
Sure.
We were wanting to know about the QR codes that you were mentioning, like how do you go about getting those, or?
Okay, so how to create a QR code.
Okay, so just look it up and it.
Yes, there are different resources that you can use to do this. QR code generator, and so what it literally does is you put in the URL of where you want it to go to, and then it sends you that QR code, and so it's just creating a direct link to your page. So there's several free different services on here on how to do it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I didn't know if there was.
Nope, no special app, no special software. It's online resources.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Access to that also. So, and I'll talk about that here in a little bit, but there's a QR code in your My.Scouting specifically for your units recruitment.
Oh, a second.
That'll take you directly to that'll take that kid to your Be a Scout pin thing. So.
Thank you. I had forgotten that Scouting has provided a QR code for your Be a Scout pin. Thank you, Chris. I forgot about that.
Where do we see that at?
I'll show you how to get there in a second. It's part of the presentation.
And then what did the one feller say? Okay, scouting.wire. That's what it is. That has all the information.
Scouting Wire. Here, let me show you here. So scoutingwire.org, and then there's the marketing membership hub on there. And so there is the virtual recruitment playbook. It looks like they need to get that updated here real quick. But there's membership growth tools, and then hold on, BSA Brand Center. There we go. So I have to accept these cookies here real quick. So it's Scouting. This Brand Center is part of that marketing wire or the Scouting Wire. So let me accept the cookies.
I didn't know it did that, Anthony. That's so Anthony said that Google Chrome also has a button on the URL now to make a QR code straight from that website. So
sweet.
That is pretty cool.
I love learning
stuff. In there?
I don't even know we need.
Well, he said there's a button in there that you can do the QR code, make up a QR code.
I was not aware of that. Where is that? Because I'm in Chrome right now and I'm sharing my screen. Let me see if it's under more tools.
Can talk if you
Create extensions.
I think if you, I'm not Anthony, but I think if you click inside of your URL line.
Yep, okay. And then it'll be right there.
Yeah, and then it pops up on the right.
Oh my goodness.
I don't see it because this.
That is so slick. So do you guys see my screen share right now? So So I'm clicking this. So I'm clicking into there, and then look over here at this. That's the QR code.
We cannot see it because your picture's in the.
We moved your picture.
The Zoom picture.
Oh, it is.
We just moved your picture.
I just slid you down. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. So I have learned something very valuable tonight. I'm so excited. You have no idea. I had no idea Chrome had that add-on.
You can find it right on there.
Something new every day.
Okay, so you can just take a screenshot of this, like using your snipping tool, and put it on print materials if you need to.
But that one just takes you to this website, or?
It does. It just takes you to whatever site you're on. So if I want to do it to our PAC Facebook page, then let's see here. Get to my Facebook page, get over here to my PAC page.
Hey, Becca, you wouldn't need a snippet either. There's actually a download button.
That's true too. That's a very good point. I see that. I saw that for, let's see, there it is. So it's not showing, hold on. Let me see. There it is. So it's covered up by part of my, hold on. I can't see both things at once. I was going to show it, but I can't. But you can do this, and then you can do that. And then down at the bottom, underneath my bar that I can't see right now, there is a download button. So thank you for that.
That looks like it's your admin page though for your Facebook. So I don't know
It
if it would
is.
work for
Yeah,
somebody
so
else.
you wouldn't want to do that, but I'm just showing how, yeah, you would want to do it from your public page. But I'm just showing you how to get there. So if you go to your PAC page, Cub Scouts 333 right there. And then you would do the QR code.
And then you could, yeah, you could put that on your newsletter is what you're saying too. And then the
Yes.
parents could go just like straight to it, or
Yes.
put it on the back of your little cards.
Yes, all of
Ready
those.
cards.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm delighted. I didn't realize that this add-on was in here. Whoever gave me that
So-
information from Chrome, you're my hero tonight.
Thank you. The other thing I would also recommend with the calendar and stuff, if you set up like a Google account for your pack, you can also use your Google to save your photos and create a direct link with the QR code if you want to set up calendars and stuff that way.
Great idea.
That's because you're handy and dandy in that. Okay.
And I'm thinking more opportunities for this QR code. It's how you can make, do you think it would work for people to have a shared way to upload photos so that when you're wanting to do posts or create a video later, all of them could go to the same place? Be super easy, wouldn't it? And you're already providing a shared folder. Okay, so there's a lot of opportunities here with this QR code. So that is how that works. And then back to Brand Center, where we were playing with this earlier, these are the add-on or the added resources that we were talking about, where it's the stock photos, videos, presentations, and more. And so this is called the 2021 recruitment assets. Hold on, let me not zoom in so much here because I can't see. Okay. All right. So
It's like Rebecca said earlier, you can get lost in that Scott wire very easy. So that's why Rebecca and them are bringing stuff from there to us to send to you guys, make it a little easier for you.
it is, because there's just so much that you can really get as, you know, overwhelmed, and which photo do I choose and what words do I put with it. And so that's why we are trying to provide as much as we can. A lot of these photos do include masks and don't include masks. And so we're trying to balance that too, that if it's indoors, you know, we want to show the proper protocols. If it's outdoors, there's not near as much concern. And so we're trying to balance that as well. But yes, you can get in here and find so many things. Excuse me. That, and they're working on adding more because of the change of the escape the great indoors to great indoor to, here it is, escape the indoors. So if you just look at all of these, there's 165 assets. So there's flyers, there are going to be web page headers. There's those buddy cards we talked about. This is like a web ad banner. Let's see what they're labeling it here as.
So is all that in the scoutingwire.org?
It is under the brand center. So
And
there's
it's
all
all
of these
free.
indoors. It's all free. You just have to download the individual pieces. And so you're invited to use them as much as you want. And I'm also, of course, as I said, going to pull some together for you with messaging and things.
Okay, brand center tab.
Yes, BSA Brand Center.
Yes.
Tab them on there.
And then I have an account through them, and I think it's because when I accepted all of those cookies, but whenever they make a change to a graphic that I have downloaded, I get a notification about it because there's been quite a few lately, because as I showed you earlier, it was called Escape the Great Indoors, and now it's just Escape the Indoors. And so all of the prior assets that I had downloaded are changing. So I'm getting these notifications that they've changed so I don't use anything that's dated. It's pretty cool.
I'm glad we didn't order the flyers yet.
No kidding. All right, well, we have talked about all kinds of things. I realize it's 7:11. I don't want to take too much of everyone's time, but I have learned from you. I'm so excited about a couple of things that came out of this discussion. And I hope that somebody has gotten some ideas that they hadn't had before, and they're thinking of some fun ways to do things. And as I mentioned, a lot of things will be rolling your way in August as tools for you to use. So they are in development and underway. All right, Chris, I'm going to hand this back over to you, unless there was anything else anyone wanted to talk about.
That did not work. All right, let me get set to where we're supposed to be now. Okay. All right, so I did have one other thing I forgot to mention earlier. So for us as the DEs, when we come to the different schools for the school talks, it's hard for us to know what your guys' individual units are doing. So this is an example of what one of my other packs has done in the past. If I can do this in a way that you guys can see it. So what this is, it's basically just a big board. I hope you guys can all kind of see this. And it just has a bunch of pictures of their different activities from the previous year. And the point behind this, the bonus for us as the DEs and stuff when we go and do your guys' school talks, is that we don't really know what you guys do in your individual units. And all we can do while we're at the school talk is sell the general scouting program. You know, you generally think you're going to do a Poundwood Derby. We know you're going to go to Rocket Day and do the Fall Field Day. We know you're going to sell popcorn. We know that the kids are excited about shooting sports, all that kind of stuff. We know all that stuff, and we can sell that easily. But maybe you guys do rain gutter regattas. Maybe you guys go to Mammoth Caves every year. Maybe you go to this or that program every year. And that's something that we wouldn't know about. And so with these photos, if you guys can provide these, not only does it help us on the day that we're doing our school talks, if we can, you know, for you in Evansville, you guys can drop it off at the office for them to use. Or for me, like I make a big loop around in my units when I drop off the flyers and pick up them from the units that have them. And the purpose is then I can sell what is happening in your unit to those kids instead of just selling them the overall program. Because I don't want to tell the kids, oh yeah, this unit does this and this and this and this, and then they join the unit and then they find out, oh, this unit doesn't do any of these things. And it's the worst, because I'll tell you, the kids will come up to me and be like, hey, this unit, or like, you know, this blah blah blah, you know, I joined like 3 months ago and you sold me at the school and you were doing their whole thing and all that stuff, and then we haven't done that thing one time since then. There's no plans that we're going to do it, and they have no idea what you were talking about with that thing. And so the kids remember what we say at those days. And so we want to make sure that whatever you guys are doing at the unit is stuff that we're talking about. So if you guys have cool ideas, you guys have cool programs that you're doing throughout the year, put them on a big poster board. The bonus for this is that we'll get it back to you before recruitment hits, and then you guys can have it at your recruitment night for your pack information table. So you have your calendar and all that stuff, but then it also shows the parents that are coming through the cool ideas that you guys have going on. So I just wanted to show that before we moved on to as a extra little thing to do for your guys' units. So, okay, so My.Scouting. So this is where we're going to talk about a couple more things as far as managing our membership for this year. So this is based off Jennifer Whitaker, who is one of the other membership chairs for the council. So you guys all have a My.Scouting account. It's a part of you guys being signed up as leaders and just being a part of Scouts. You guys have access to this. Being a unit leader, you should have access to these options on the left over here. And I know you guys can't see your screen or see my cursor, But you know, there's My Recent Web Tools, BSA Web Links, and then PAC 383. That's her unit, but your guys' unit should show up right there. And then below that, the two things that are most important for this upcoming recruitment is the application and invitation managers. So if you click on application manager, you will come up with this page. And basically, as it shows on here, it shows applications and their different levels of pending. So it starts at pending review, pending refund, all that kind of stuff. And these are different things like if a parent pays through the Be a Scout pin for your unit as an application online, it'll come to this place. And this is where you as the unit leader can accept that application and, you know, sign off on it and everything. And then that person is now a part of your unit. You don't have to do the paper application. You don't have to do any of that. It's all just done online through this portal on your My.Scouting. And as you can see, there's a lot of different options for different parts of what you can do once you get those applications. But basically, you want it to where it's that pending acceptance. You click the acceptance, and then you know, have it go through. This is the page when you click on Invitation Manager that comes up. And it's where it says new leads. And basically this is where a person goes to your Be a Scout pin and on beascout.org. They're in your area and they want to find out several things. Most of the time that we see on this, it's when is your meeting? Even though sometimes that information is on the Be a Scout pin, they're going to ask it anyways. Other things are, hey, my kid has a food allergy. Can you guys accommodate that? Or, hey, my kid plays in this sport. On Mondays and Wednesdays, do you guys have other meeting times that we can get it in, or can we still fit our kid into this program? And this gives you guys the opportunity to respond to those questions and those type of things until you either satisfy their answer and they want to join, or you get to the point where no, they don't want to join, and you know, that's, and as you can see, you can close it and complete it out, and it's all good. Us as the DEs and the membership chairs receive the emails for when these type of application and invitation managers come in, the leads for them. We will communicate with you guys, but you all need to be checking your My.Scouting throughout recruitment starting in the beginning of August, because we'll send out the first set of flyers around the first week of school for each of your schools. And so you need to be checking this often, because that first flyer goes out, you could have kids starting in the first week of August. So you guys need to be checking this. You need to be paying attention to it, basically from the beginning of August until the end of October, because that's really what the full recruitment season is. And then after that, you should be getting stuff too, hopefully. But for the most part, you should receive emails when stuff comes in. But this is the key part to that. And as you guys can see on the bottom of the screen, it says the invitation QR. That is what we were talking about. That is a QR code that takes the kid directly to your PAC's Be a Scout pin. For them to sign up, and they can sign up for the unit. So we would recommend, we are going to have one of those for the council, in which they can send them to the Be a Scout pin, and so they can find out where their local unit is. But if you guys are going to do your own set of flyers, or maybe you're going to do your own kind of open house lettering, that kind of stuff, that QR code being put on there by you and the unit will really help you guys out. Or as Becca was explaining before, you can put it on your Facebook page, all that kind of stuff. Easy way for people to do it. And it does work where you can get the QR code off a computer screen. It can be a little finicky sometimes, but it does work. This is your PAC Key 3 information page. So this is her Key 3 page, and this is where you go to the, let me see if I can go back here. So this is under the organization manager part right there on the, as you can see on the left. And once you go to here, it'll show this stuff. And then you can choose, the other thing you can do now, which is a new feature, is that you can allow adult applications, and you can get those all signed electronically also through your chartered organization rep or your executive officer, and then through your guys' leadership. So that's a new thing. Obviously, as you guys can see on the bottom of this page, there's a girls only, boys only, both boys and girls. If you guys are one of those type of packs, make sure that is up to date and all that kind of stuff. And as you can see on the left there, we got the settings, the unit pin, all that kind of stuff. So this is the information that you want to make sure is up to date for your guys' unit pin, which we'll go to next, I believe. So your guys' unit pin is, like I said, it's when the kids, if a person in your city wants to find their local pack, they're going to go to beascout.org. It's on all of our flyers. It's on our yard sites. It's on everything. They can go there, they can figure out where their local pack is, the one closest to them. And, whether that's your pack, they're going to come up to this thing and it's going to look very similar to this page. So if this isn't up to date and they're going to be calling, this person that's on this, so on this, it's Keith Penny. And if that's not his right phone number, they're not going to, get that number, and they're going to go to somewhere else. They're going to choose a different unit if they even choose a unit at that point. So that's why we need these things updated. Like I had a unit in 2019 that their PIN was going to somebody who had passed away. It was it was rough, and I was like hounding that unit to get it updated, because obviously if they're calling somebody who's passed, that family doesn't want to be receiving the phone calls, nor does the people want to be calling them. They need to have it updated to the current person. So and as you guys can see, you can put your unit meeting addresses, contact person, all that kind of stuff to show that shows up on the PIN. And you can allow people to pay online and apply online. And if you're on, bscout.org, we recommend that you allow all of these things just to make sure that the recruitment is as easy as possible. It also gives you the opportunity, if you have a PAC website, to put that in there. That's a great way for those units that are like, hey, they're pulling up different PAC websites. This one looks like they don't really post anything at all. They're not doing that much. This one looks like they have all these posts. They're putting in the posts that Becca is creating and we're putting out to you guys. They're going to choose the one that looks like they have a more robust program. This is your roster form. So I know I get about 100 emails a year asking me for a roster for our unit. This is the place where you can go and print that out. And it's the exact same thing that we would print you out at the office. So every time that somebody asks me for a roster in the near future, I'm just going to tell you to go to your My.Scouting and pick it up. If you're in my district, and so will the others, because it's all right here. It's all easy access. And as you can see towards the bottom where it says like Keith Penny and Nancy and all them, that it shows next to them the unit leaders that have been trained. So if you have a bunch of unit leaders in your unit and they don't have that trained thing right next to them, that means they're missing some of their training. And that's an important thing to get fixed out, especially because we're going to be starting our new mandatory training rules for 2023. So that's an important process to get your going. So, but right here, print out your roster. Much easier than calling down to us, because it'll be a lot faster for you to do it than to have Jen pull it off and do that whole process. Position manager is not, that's really more of an adult thing. The reports down here, this shows the different types of reports. Like I said, a lot of these, it shows like, here's the data that'll be displayed on Scout pin. That's important. Otherwise, it's just, membership totals. It's a lot of things that you guys can use as your within your unit and that kind of stuff. As you can see, there's Eagle extension reports, all that kind of stuff for, the older units, those type of stuff. This is under your training manager part. You guys can access this, and this shows the mandatory training that is necessary for your unit leaders. Obviously, YPT is one of those, and the biggest one that we're dealing with right now. It shows who's completed it. It shows if they've completed parts of it, not if they completed the whole thing. Whether there is classroom training to part of those trainings that they have coming up. So like if you're a new Cub Master or that kind of stuff, sometimes there's some in-person training along with the online training you need to complete. That's the kind of stuff that you need to, make sure that you go to this page for your unit to make sure it's all up to date and your unit's ready to go for this next year, especially your new incoming parents that you get signed up for den leaders. That's awesome. It's great to get those new parents in and get them in as assistants, get them into that role, get them learning the position. But you need to make sure they get through their trainings. Okay, so the next part of this is going to be Scout Book, which I have very little part in, because as a council employee, I have no access to Scout Book. So I am going to turn it over to Scott and Becca to sort of handle this part of it. Scott, do you have the PowerPoint pulled up, or do you want me to just run it on my end?
Run it on your end, because I'm on my phone.
Okay, all right.
And this is Becca, and I don't use Scoutbook because I am not the committee chair or Cub Master, so I defer on that. So I am not a Scoutbook expert either.
Okay, all right. Well, then I will. We'll defer this to Scott, and Scott, thank you very much.
No problem. The question is how many people actually have used Scoutbook and all that? I mean, if you have not, please message us in the chat room and all that, and that way later on we can help walk you through it and get you signed up and everything, because it is a great tool for your pack to use and everything. So,
All right.
okay, flip this.
We,
Go to
we
Scouting.
have Scout Book.
Uh-huh.
We've got Scout Book and I'm logged in, but I am having a hard time understanding how to use it. So
Okay. We'll walk you through it and everything. So that's no problem. So to log into your go into scoutingbook.org and all that. It is actually owned by BSA now and everything. But it's the same login and password as my.scouting.org and everything. To get into Scoutbook, you use your my.scouting.org password and stuff. So
okay.
I think most of this is just sort of the login process. So
right. Once you're in and everything, you'll see this screen right here will come up and it'd be my dash. And then the second one would be it'll take you back to my.scouting.org, your trainings. It will take you into my.scouting and let me pull mine up real quick here.
So basically, this is just sort of the homepage. If you are the leader looking at it, this is how it's going to come up to you instead of being. So if I can go back, I might not be able to.
To do any changes and all that and everything,
yeah.
You have to be one of the key threes.
Yeah.
And everything. That is your Cub Master, your charter organization, and your committee chair.
Yeah. But
So, Scott, I have a quick question. I am the Cub Master, but if I log in, the only scout that it shows me doesn't even show my dashboard. It only shows my son as being a scout. It doesn't show my whole pack.
Okay. Yeah. It will show you. It will show your son and all that. Go into your account, and you may have to switch into SSO profiles. And that would probably switch it over to your pack and stuff like that. I did have that problem at one time too and all that. Let's go back here. But when you log in and all that and everything, it will come up to my dashboard and everything. You want to hit my dashboard. When you hit that, like he says, some of you will only see your child in your dashboard. That means you only have permission to see your child and everything. But if you are a scoutmaster or a committee chairperson or charter organization and everything, you should be able to see your whole unit and everything. And on that, like I personally, I don't know if you can see this or not, but I have
yeah, let me see if I can drop out of screen share so they can see you a little bit better.
there you go. I have my pack and plus pack 100 on here because I am a commissioner for 100 and stuff. So I can actually see all their information going on, plus my troop and everything. I just have to click on which one I want to go to start with and everything. But
all right, I'll pull back up.
go to the next page, please.
All right.
So you should, when you go onto this, you should have your pack 3, whatever pack you are, you would click on the pack and everything. Then it would bring up the roster. You can have set it up where you have each individual den as a den, or you can pull up where it shows the whole pack and everything. So I mean, And if you do each individual, then that way it has each kid in that bear, lions, all separate and everything. So, and then
The bonus for this screen that I just got to here, I mean, as you can see on this one, the other part here, it shows them how far in their advancements they are. So that's a bonus too, that, you know, you can be like, okay, well, this kid's falling behind a little bit in comparison to the rest of the den. We need to kind of, you know, work with that family to make sure that they're getting the requirements, you know, in the backlog completed. And then when you move into this one, like I said before in the beginning of the training, how you know, you need to sort of go after specific age groups for you as recruitment. This kind of shows you a good page of how many kids are within your individual dens and how it's all sort of split up. So you know, okay, well, like in this one, their lion's den only has one kid. Their bear's den only had one kid. Weeblo's one, their second den only had one kid. That means that they need to recruit those specific age groups a little bit more significantly to make sure that it all evens out throughout this recruitment season, so that when they come through, they have an even number per den coming into the rest of the fall and next year.
And it's kind of hard to see on this one, but go to the next page once. Let's see if it brings up the roster. Okay, down there at the very bottom on the top, like earlier, this is another way that you could bring up your roster for your whole pack and everything. And you can print off that if you need to. That was the calendar. Everything.
Yeah, my bad. I thought it was gonna. I can't go back. There we go. All
Where are you getting that from?
This is actually slides that they have on there. But are you on your dashboard now?
Yes.
Okay. Go to your pack and everything and scroll all the way down to the bottom. You should see roster and all that.
I don't see roster. Do you?
What? Explain to me what you see on yours.
You see
Yeah,
roster?
troop
Okay.
roster.
Okay. We was just on the wrong screen there for a minute.
Okay. And then click on troop roster. Come on, go back.
Okay, it was.
right. I don't have access. Can you add Katrina Marshall back in?
I'm okay.
Okay.
So whenever you went to a troop roster and all that. Mine's
Yeah.
going haywire. Sorry, mine's going haywire right now. Then on there you can actually
Really on the do not bin.
now we're back to where I need to be. Troop roster. So another good thing is if you're a scoutmaster and all that, and the parents can see what their child is doing and all that. So you would have the roster would show you all your scout leaders on there at the very top and everything, plus your charter organization person, and all your kids would be underneath it and everything. You can, if you want to find out each kid, you can click on the individual and all that. But if you go all the way down and hit the connection manager button, it brings up a spreadsheet like, and you see the different dots, like the yellow with the brown in the middle, or the yellow, the blue, with the brown in the middle. There's a blue and there's a green. These are different levels of what you can allow your people to see or do and everything. So I don't know if you ladies are Cub Masters or anything, or if you have permission to change anything or not, but this is the different levels this is the different levels that you can go in there. And if you just hold down onto that person's area, it will pop up a screen that says full contact, edit advancement, view advancements, edit profile, or view profile. And you just pick which one you want and hit set permission. And this way it will allow that person that's in chart in that column to only do what you want them to do. Because there's some things that you don't want your parents to do, like put in advancement ranks or something like that, or whatever,
Right.
that you mostly just want them to see what's
Hey, Scott.
there. Yes, sir.
Hey, we're gonna have to move. Hey, Heather and Betty, we can answer questions at the end, but since we're recording it and we're already at 7:37, can we jump through it and then we can do them at the end so that we're not holding everyone else up?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
only other question I have, and I don't know if anybody else has this question, is like the scout book, I've been able to get in this far, but I don't know how to order the merit badges and enter that type of stuff in here, because from what I've seen, you have to check off on each thing that the boys have done. And some of those things we don't know because they went to a merit badge university or something, and we don't know what all requirements they finished. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So,
I understand it. And I'll walk you through it, how to do that and everything, because you have to go into your reports and click on the report area,
Yeah, we can do that.
which I'll be more glad to work with you at the end here.
which I saw that there's like a
Alright.
quick link, and I tried to click on the quick link and I tried to do that way, and it wouldn't enter it
Right.
in.
No, you have to scroll when you're on my dashboard. You have to scroll all the way down to the report menu and hit the report menu, and there's a
Oh,
need
yeah, here it is.
approval report, need purchase report, need awarded report, and stuff like that. And you would hit those, and they will let you go in there and approve or whatever needs to be done.
Click on him.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Look.
like Chris has here up on the screens, it shows each stand, and the calendar. The calendar is a very good way to send out to your pack and everything, to keep them reminders. It automatically will send out reminders to your each boy or girl and everything, or parent, and tell them what is coming up and all that. And plus it breaks it down to the whole month or the whole year and stuff. And to click on that and everything, you just go to your calendar and events. You go to events, and it will pop up create a new event or my calendar. And if you create a new event, this screen will pop up, and you put in all your information, and how far advance you want them to know about it and everything. And you can invite each person, whoever you want to invite and everything. And you can put special permission slips in there, which a lot of people don't do anymore, because I mean, it is one that it's open to everybody, I should say, and all that. But like here, it shows all the people that is invited to this event that they're putting on and everything. And like I said, it is a great way to keep communicating to your scouts, and you don't have to go back in and keep on doing this every month or every day. You can plan it out for the whole year, and it would automatically send out your information out beforehand.
Also, those invitees, you have to have your whole pack on there or else they won't see it on their calendar. They won't see the event on their calendar if they're not on the invitees list. So if you add new people after you've created the event, you're probably going to have to invite the new people to that event or else they won't see it on their calendar either.
And real
Thank you.
quick too, for that invite all, they have that new feature where you can invite certain groups to, like, you know, like your whole pack or this whole den, and it updates all of your events.
Correct.
It also provides you that RSVP thing. So if you have that, like this is upcoming Scout rank advancement. So this could be like your blue and gold, that kind of stuff. It's a new way of getting the RSVPs you need before the event, so that you don't have to worry about it the day of. You can figure out how much food you need to order instead of ordering way too much fried chicken than you need, like every unit does. So that is also the bonus for this calendar thing. And like they said, the bonus is too that all the units get the update, or all the kids get the update, the families, whenever you create the event, and you can send it out to them too once it's created. I think it shows, yeah. So down here, you can send out reminders about your upcoming den meetings, about your upcoming events, about the pack meeting. Like she put on here, we'll be meeting to recognize the Cub Scout Awards and for them to earn their next ranks. Make sure that they're in uniform. The worst part I remember, is when you show up to a pack meeting and you're the only one not wearing the uniform and you forgot that it was the advancing. That's never a fun thing for the kids and for that family. So it's always a great way as a reminder for everyone too.
And you can also go back in there and edit it and everything if you did forget something or anything.
Yeah.
Go down, there you go. So
just the like where you can choose recipients of different events. Like I think this is where what Katrina was just saying, where you can selectively choose which people you want to get this. So like she said, if it's maybe a specific den event, that kind of a thing, then you can choose which parents you want to send the information to. Obviously the bonus for this is that they need to have updated contact information, which is great because then that helps out with all that process of getting the information out there and information you need for the future too. So this is another cool tool, also the upcoming events. So you can send out an email or a message to the families, and you can choose all the upcoming events they have that are put into the calendar for the next 2 months. And as you can see, it auto populates whatever those events are. So if you have the events set up correctly and it shows Scout Rank Advancement, 6 p.m., iCamp Center, Scout Recruitment, STEM, Pinewood Derby Day, those are happening the next 2 months for that unit. And then now she can send this information directly to the people that she chose, so that those families are getting that information. They know what's upcoming. And you can choose to, maybe every 6 months you want to send them that half-year calendar. And then every couple of months you send just the 2 months, just to keep them up to date with what's happening.
right. Also, you can send a text message if their information is all in the Scout book and all that. You can send it either way, email or by text and everything.
Okay. That is all I had as far as slides go. Let me stop sharing my screen here so I can actually see you guys again. Okay, so the last couple of things, especially with Scout Book, the national office has expanded out their use of Scout Book. Like Scott said, they've kind of incorporated it now into national. You still have to go to Scout Book directly for any type of help or thing you guys need with it. But for the most part, national is going full in Anthropic with that program. They are really providing information for den leaders on Scout Book and on the national website. The national website has created new tools for den leaders, almost providing them adventures and den leader meetings and den administration stuff, but also just actual activities to do during the meetings. So if you go to the national website, nationalbsi.org, and then you go to the Cub Scout page, there's a lot of great information there. it almost does all the work for you. They're really trying to make it to where it's just that 1 hour a week job that they've been promising us for a long time. It's a really, really great program, and they've really tried to expand out these different options and things that they've been promising us for a while, and it's finally here, and it actually does look really great. So we're pretty excited about that, and they're going to sort of use Scoutbook as a way to get that information out there. Scoutbook, you can even send out the individual advancements that you're going to do during the next meeting out to those families, so that they know, oh, well, we can't make it to this next meeting because of a family engagement, or we have a sporting event, or whatever it may be. They can see on there what advancements they're going to miss, so that they can make them up in that time that they're going to miss before the next meeting, so they're not behind with the rest of the unit. Or even you guys as the unit leaders can see that they missed that stuff, and you can get it out to them to hey, make sure you catch up with these advancements at home as a family, bring it back in for the next one, so we're all on the same page. So
Right.
that
Yeah.
is. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Scott, go ahead.
Yeah, it is a way where the parents can communicate with the den leader too, and all that the parents can mark where the kid has done it, and the den leader can go in there and approve it or not too.
Yeah. So that is all we have for this evening. I hope that we helped you guys out in several different ways. I'm going to turn off the record part now, so that we can just have some question and answer kind of section here if you guys need it. So.